Thank you for stopping by GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather news portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the daily video forecast discussion for May 1st, 2013. And indeed, this morning for May 1st, we're finding brilliant sunshine at sunrise, clear skies across the entire forecast region of the Northeast down through the at least the northern mid-Atlantic portions anyway. There's a little bit more cloud cover and some rain south of the Delmarva or in the central Delmarva region, but skies everywhere else are generally clear, and there's a light north to northeast wind. Temperatures this morning anywhere from the upper 30s to the mid 40s across the entire forecast area, and some regions are reporting very, very light winds this morning. There's a frost advisory for portions of northwestern New Jersey, but that will expire at about 8 o'clock or so this morning. Here's our clear skies at sunrise this morning. Clouds back to the south and to the west here. These clouds will be breaking up a little bit during today too. Our region is wedged in high pressure, so it will continue to build down through the region. There has been some stratus clouds across and south of Long Island, and here comes just a little bit of rain this morning well off the Virginia beach down through the Chesapeake area and off the North Carolina coast. We do have some small craft advisories, and they're in effect until 7 o'clock on Thursday for that east to northeast wind off the ocean around high pressure at 10 to 20 knots, gust up to 25 knots, and seas will be between 3 and 7 feet. These advisories here across inland New Jersey will be for parts of northern New Jersey and northeast Pennsylvania. They'll expire at 8 o'clock this morning, and this is for the coldest temperatures between now and just about now, 4 a.m. and now. Sensitive vegetation could be harmed. A frost advisory means that frost is possible, but sensitive outdoor plants may be killed if left uncovered. And we may be going through another one of these episodes during tonight across the interior here, and we'll just have to wait for watches and warnings from the National Weather Service on that. Starting at the water vapor loop this morning, high pressure is building down from southeastern Canada, and we have high pressure basically off the mid-Atlantic and North Atlantic coast states, but we do have this upper low here. This is an upper low that will be passing south and east around the periphery of this high, and some of the modeling is bringing some light precipitation into the region on Thursday night and Friday morning as it drives a weak backdoor cold front south through the region, and the winds will be east on Friday, so the air mass will be chillier the further north you are, let's say the Hudson Valley and northwestern New Jersey, but temperatures still could rebound just south of where that frontal boundary lies. This is an upper level low across the Gulf Coast states. It's going to provide a lot of showers and thunderstorms across the southeastern states, but should remain to the south of the forecast region right through the weekend as high pressure here in this upper blocking pattern continues, with fair skies and moderating temperatures in the 60s and 70s. The only caveat, as that was said earlier, is an east wind and a backdoor cold front, which could bring cooler conditions to northern sections on Friday. This cold front here and upper level disturbance will be moving into Canada and will be not included in our forecast domain over the next several days. Here's our futurecast going forward here. We're starting out with clear skies across the region this morning, and we should be in the clearing for the rest of today and tonight. Here's our backdoor cold front and weak level disturbance moving through the day on Thursday night and Friday morning with an east wind and more cloud cover across the region. And this is the NAMWRF composite reflectivity and cloud forecast going forward from Penn State's EWAL site. We can see some of the clouds, the stratus clouds, moving across the region, and this would be for later tonight, right along the immediate coastline. Actually, some of this could be approaching the southern coast according to the GFS model, the NAM model rather, as early as this afternoon. It's starting out banking itself off the coast this morning of southern New England, and moving with an east wind or a component from off the ocean very close to the coastline. Some of this could be getting into the immediate coast and keeping temperatures and sky cover a bit chillier and cloudier. The NAM model wants to continue with this overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning for portions of the coastline of central and southern New Jersey down through Cape May and parts across the Delmarva there. And then the cloud cover begins to disperse a little bit. There could be some light drizzle or fog with this, some few sprinkles across the region, across those regions. But other than that, clear skies inland, light winds, Good radiation tonight, and temperatures getting back down into the 40s and some upper 30s again, which would cause possibility of some frost for some of that vegetation out there once again. Tomorrow starts out lots of sunshine. The fog dismantles itself somewhat across the coastlines, and sunshine reigns supreme, except for extreme eastern sections of coastal Delmarva, and even that too begins to move offshore and weaken. Now, if we look closely here to the north, this is our upper level low and a backdoor cold front moving through, and even the modeling wants to take that cold front south through the Hudson Valley with some cloud cover here and even some few sprinkles and light rain showers, but really not going to amount to much. And then that backdoor cold front settles just to the south of the region on Friday, and that's going to keep an east wind, and it's also going to make sure that the temperatures are a little bit cooler on Friday than previously forecasted. Here's our temperatures for this afternoon, getting into the 60s again, except along the immediate coastline this afternoon, as we find an onshore flow and some of that cloud cover that may get into the coastal regions, keeping temperatures right along the barrier islands there in the 50s, where everybody else gets back into the 60s. And it even warms up across the upper Hudson Valley and into southern Connecticut and central Connecticut, where temperatures could be running anywhere from between 65 to at least 69, 70 degrees. As we get through the night, temperatures will once again radiate back down, probably back down into the 40s and even perhaps a few 50s across the region, and we're probably not going to see much in the way of frost. Tomorrow is going to be a nice day. Look at this. Temperatures getting into the low 70s across a good chunk of the area, especially northern sections. And then watch what happens. We have that weak cold front, that backdoor cold front, come through during the night on Thursday night into Friday. And then temperatures on Friday are going to be a lot different than they were. Will be cooler for sure. Temperatures inland around 60 and remaining in the 50s with an onshore flow right along the immediate coast. Last night's European and GFS 500 millibar height anomalies off the Penn State Ewald site. Here's our upper level low here across the northeastern Pacific, south of the Aleutian Islands here. It shows up nicely on both model runs and the means with a ridge access across the northwestern coast of the United States and into the northern plains, at least anyway. And then this is where things get confusing. The GFS wants to keep more ridging here across Greenland and keeps a trough access here from central Canada all the way down through Hudson's Bay into the east coast. If these height anomalies are lower here, that means chillier weather, not necessarily stormier weather, but chillier weather indeed, with disturbances moving through the flow and keeping the air masses changeable and chilly going into the mid to the late part of next week. And this would be valid all the way through Saturday, May 11th. And other than that, the European modeling is keeping more ridging here with separation between the two, ridging further to the north, and then a pinch or a wedge of that ridge extending into northeastern Atlantic or northwestern Atlantic with a trough axis here across the central plains. So not as steep with the trough axis, and also with this split here, this means that there's going to be a variability of disturbances moving through the flow, but may get washed out as they approach the northern mid-Atlantic. Which one of these is correct? Obviously, if we looked at the GFS model from this morning, it looks more like what it's showing here, but the European model has a slightly different take on that. And this is the 500 millibar heights and 1,000 to 500 millibar thickness. Here's our ridge of high pressure upper low off the northeast, northwestern Atlantic, ridge wedging in between, and trough access developing across the central plains with its cutoff low here. And this is what the GFS is showing. The cutoff low Saturday, Sunday, Monday, really just cut off from the jet stream here. High pressure continues in control, but eventually this upper low has to shift somewhere, so it moves to the Atlantic coast, and that's where moisture feed increases during the day on Tuesday and possibly Wednesday as this whole thing begins to lift out. And then here is what the GFS is showing. High pressure begins to build in, but there's still a few smithers of disturbances that will move through the flow. And as far as we get to May 11th here next week, we find a basic weak trough access at least through the Great Lakes and southeastern Canada, and this could drive a few cold fronts through the region. Here's our first one on Saturday, May 11th, right around midnight or so, followed by high pressure again for next weekend. But again, there's going to be disturbances here in this kind of setup. And here's our upper level low and trough axis developing across the plains. Plenty of moisture here in the southeastern United States through the next several days, but nothing but dry weather really for us for the northern mid-Atlantic as high pressure continues to wedge down and builds in across the region. But notice how this upper level low develops and really just spins here across the southern plains, and eventually it shifts and drifts through the southeast, weakening slightly as it does so, and eventually it opens up a little bit as it makes its way to the Atlantic coast with a southeast wind. Rain develops around here sometime on Tuesday and Wednesday, and probably will be heavy in spots, but not everybody will see it. And then as we get through the period here for the end of, if we go back just a step or two here, here's our rain developing on that southeast wind for Tuesday afternoon. And then as we go through the day on Tuesday and Wednesday, it develops and moves, the upper low develops and surface wave develops and moves off the northern mid-Atlantic coast states, and then keeps a basic trough axis across the eastern United States for a day or two until high pressure and drier weather comes in. Here's our next cold front, which will be moving into the region and weakening as the low lifts into southeastern Canada for Saturday, May 11th. And other than that, my allergies are really kicking butt today, but I'm going to try to make it through, and it's going to be a gorgeous one indeed. So do enjoy the weather outside today. For GardenStateWeather.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a good May 1st, and we'll be back bright and early with you on Thursday, tomorrow, with our video forecast discussion. Have a great day.